Hello and welcome to this video presentation. My name is Paul Brett. I'm a Senior Software Support Analyst supporting the Transformation Extender product from IBM. The topic for this video is deploying the Healthcare Pack to the ITX V2 REST API. Feel free to reach out to me on popular social media channels at Paul Brett Tech. In this practical demonstration, I implement the IBM Transformation Extender Pack for Healthcare on the ITX V2 REST API. First, I will extract and build the HIPAA compliance map on the ITX 11011 Design Studio. Then I will migrate certain components over to the design server. Then I will deploy that solution to the ITX V2 REST API. And finally, I will show that this can be called efficiently in a multi-threaded environment on a modestly specified machine. Let's begin this demonstration on Windows Explorer, and you will see that I've downloaded the Healthcare Pack HCP version 10.2.3, and I've downloaded the version that is compatible with ITX 1101. Now, in my installation folder, I have created a subdirectory called Packs, which is currently empty, and I'm going to extract the content of the zip file that I've received from IBM into that directory. So a directory called healthcare_v 10.2.3.0 has been created. Within there is a HIPAA directory. Within there is a maps directory. And here we have a map called hipaa data compliance, which is going to be the basis for the next part of this demonstration. Here in the ITX Design Studio, I have an empty workspace and I'm going to create a new project. I click on New and then Extend a Project. I'm going to call the new project HIPAA. Rather than use the default location, I'm actually going to point it to the location of where the project files are. I'm going to copy the HIPAA directory location into my clipboard and paste it into the location here. Before moving forward, there's a couple of admin tasks to do. In the actual installation itself, under the maps directory, there is an hcsvu.dll which I need to copy back into the root directory of the product installation. Next, I need to go into the data folder, find the HIPAA data compliance.json file, and make a small change. I need to input the base map directory as /maps/. Back in the Design Studio, we can now compile the map. So I'm going to open the map files section, scroll down to HIPAA data compliance, right click and choose Build All Maps. I'm going to tick the box to build everything and click Finish. Next, I need to create a zip archive that contains all of those compiled maps. To do this, I choose File, Export. The export type is going to be Archive File. And from the Maps directory, I need to tick every single .mmc file. Now we can click on the Filter Types button and type in .mmc, and now every MMC file is ticked. We're going to save it to an archive on our desktop, so I'm going to click Browse, click Desktop, type in the name of my archive file, HIPAA, and as you'll see, I've done this step before and it's already created, so I won't click the final Finish button, but that's the basic steps that you need to create the MMCs in a zip file. And I'll open that zip file to show you that that has indeed got all of the maps that have just been compiled. Here we have our ITX 11.011 design server interface, and as you can see, I have signed in and I'm at the projects screen. I currently have no project called HIPAA, and I'm going to import that now. What I'm going to drag here is the zip file that I created earlier with all the compiled maps in it. The project name can remain as hipaa, and I click the Import Project button. The project has imported successfully, and here it is. If we go inside here and click on the Maps section, we have all the compiled maps that we saw earlier. As well as the maps, we need some of the files that are in that pack. So I'm going to move this screen to one side again, and I've made a list here of all the files that I'm going to need. This will form part of the notes for this video. So we'll take each one in turn from the data directory and bring it into the design server. Now I'm doing this with ITX 11.011. From ITX 11.02 I'm told that we will be able to put all of these files in one zip and import them all in one go. Unfortunately not available in this version, and we have to do them one at a time. So in the Files section I'm going to click the plus button, and then from the data directory I'm going to find this file, hipaa data compliance parameter.json. Here's the file I need. I'm going to drag and drop it to the ITX 11, and it needs to be in a folder called data. So I pop in the word data there and click OK. If we click on the Files section here, you can see one file has been done in the data directory. Now I just have to do all of the others one at a time. As you can see in my little note there, I have 7 files to import, and in the UI I now have 7 files. Each time I had to remember to import it into the data folder. Next step is to build a flow so that we can call this map from any REST client. From our hipaa project screen, we're going to go into the Flows section and create a new flow. I'm going to call the flow hipaa_data_compliance, and there's a specific string that needs to be in the description field. The string is @package equals hipaa_data_compliance. In the flow design screen, we are going to click on the icon to create a map on the canvas. Then right click on that and pick the map from the list. Scrolling down the list, we're going to find hipaa data compliance. Over here on the right, we're going to click on the Manage Terminals link and choose Edit Terminals. For our demonstration, the input card needs to be input card 2 and the output needs to be output card 6. So we have 2 and 6. Click the Save button. Choose Set as Flow Terminal for both input and output, and then save the flow. Next step is to deploy this in a package. If I go to my V2 endpoints page, you will note that nothing is currently deployed. So let's go to Packages, and I'm going to create a package. The name of the package is hipaa_data_compliance, and this has to match the tag that we created on the flow earlier. From a maps point of view, we're going to include everything, but we are going to clear each of these URLs, as we are not going to be calling the maps individually. We're going to be calling the flow that we have designed only. Once all the maps have been deselected, I'm going to select the flow. I also have to remember to include all of the files in my package that I'm going to use, the 7 files that I uploaded into the project. The package has been successfully added. Let's see if it will build. Build is successful, and now let's deploy it to my endpoint. I'm going to send it to my default local runtime server. It has deployed successfully. If I refresh my Swagger UI page now, you will see that it's been deployed. Next step is to test this using the curl command from a command prompt. Here you can see I have a command prompt open at my desktop, and I have the command I need stored in a file. If I execute this command now, it will fail because it's looking locally for this file. I'll run that now and show you that failing. The file that I need is in the data directory of the HIPAA part of the healthcare pack. It's this top file, all HIPAA 5010 transactions, which I shall copy to my desktop now and then run the curl command again. As you can see, that has sent the data to the REST API. The compliance check map has run and is returning the data back to the command prompt. For the next part of the demonstration, I'm going to automate this process with a pause on a repeating loop and show you this multi-threading. On screen you can see that I've written a batch file called run in loop, and basically it's running the compliance command through curl and looping around and incrementing a counter. As you can see, I have 8 threads running quite happily here on my modestly specified laptop, and in fact I'm just going to run this one more time and bring up a 9th thread, drag that down, and that's quite happily running there. And the thread count, the execution count, sorry, is increasing in that bottom right hand window there, and it's quite happily running all those threads in parallel, hitting the REST API service and running the compliance map. And that represents the end of the demonstration. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video presentation today. If you found the content interesting and informative, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, as I release content such as this on a regular basis. Feel free to reach out to me on social media at Paul Brett Tech. Thank you.